Before we came to Belize, we heard the same things over and over. The tender process is stressful, you might not have enough time ashore, and if you're not careful, you could miss the ship. So today we thought we would show you exactly what it's like. We've been to Belize 5 times now. On this trip, we decided to go off completely on our own. So we did some stuff around Belize City, and then we're gonna show you where we went, how much time you actually have, and whether or not the tendering situation is anything to worry about. Hi, I'm Crystal.
And I'm Marshall.
And welcome back to the channel. So first, let's talk about what a tender is and why ships need to use a tender when they're in Belize. And you know more about that than I do.
Okay. Yes, so tendering itself is when a big cruise ship can't get to the port, the dock. So it stays off the coast, and then smaller ships, boats, and when we say smaller, you could have a couple dozen people to 100 or 200 people. The boat goes to the ship, you hop on that boat, and then it takes you to the dock. So there still are a number of places that you need to tender to in order to get to the port. In Belize, it's primarily because there is a wonderful reef that separates the ocean, the Gulf of Mexico, to the actual port area. And the ships just are too large to go past that reef. So they stay on the outside, and these smaller tender boats come to pick you up and bring you to town. Mm-hmm. It's actually quite nice, if not as convenient as just walking off the ship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are some things you need to consider. So first of all, you need usually a tender ticket to get on one of these tender boats. They do not cost you anything. They're part of your cruise fare.
Yes.
And you need to follow the directions on your cruise line. For the cruise ship we were on, and it was a Royal Caribbean cruise, they told us in the app where to go and at what time to get the tender tickets. So for ours, they gave us like a 2-hour window from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. to go get a ticket. So it was, Marshall went down.
Yeah, sometimes old school is just nice to have a ticket. There are other ways on other cruise lines, even on Royal's newer ships. There's, you can do it through the app, or you can do it, electronically. But this was old school, and I did go down before breakfast, and I got a ticket, and I was able to come back and go, hey, here's our tender ticket.
So then we went to breakfast. And we thought, well, it'll probably take a little bit, so we'll have breakfast and then we'll go get ready for the day back in the room. And then maybe by that point, our ticket number will be called.
Right.
We got, I think, ticket number 9, and it was called in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, people just, it was a smooth process, obviously. Mm-hmm. Maybe not everybody from 1 through 8 hopped on a tender right off the bat. Mm-hmm. And so they just went through the numbers really fast. So now, just in terms of the order of things when you're tendering, if you have an excursion, and Belize is known for some really great, even full-day excursions, you don't have to get a tender ticket because it's part of that excursion package. So across cruise lines, they'll tell you, okay, an excursion, you'll meet here on the ship, and then they will escort you to the appropriate tender boat at the appropriate time. So don't worry about tender tickets if you've got an excursion. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to get off the ship really fast, then make your way down to get that ticket as soon as possible so you'll get the earliest numbers. Mm-hmm. You were saying we were in no major rush. We had number 9. It was called fast. And also, if you don't get a tender ticket, you'll have to wait, but once they go through the numbers, then they call it open tendering.
Yeah.
And which means that if you're doing lunch and you want to go off for a couple hours, you can just mosey on down and get the next tender boat.
Yeah, so we actually didn't even need our ticket because we got off the ship at 10:30 is when we stepped foot from the ship onto the tender boat. 10:30, we didn't need a ticket, and we went ashore to Belize City. When you get off the tender boat there's this very short little dock. And then you're there with some shops, a lot of jewelry stores, some local artisan pieces. And you can stay right in the port area because they also have restaurants there. And so you can stay right there if you want. We wanted to venture off on our own, so off we went.
So this is my just general take of Belize. First off, overall, I really kind of like the port because it's just real. It's true you have a touristy area when you get off the tender boat, but then it is a true working city. It's not a tourist trap. It's not tourist focused. So be prepared for that vibe. But we found a lot of great things to do. So we got off the tender boat, walked through the cruise port area, didn't really stop to do much. And then we were out in the city and we walked to a museum. Actually, it was the Belize Museum.
Yes, Museum of Belize.
That works too. Probably that's the title.
Yeah, so it's about a half mile from the port, and we got to the museum. It's an old prison from the colonial days. And the museum, I think, is very well done, don't you?
It is extremely well done. It's one of my favorite kind of history port museums that we've been to.
It's nothing like super fancy, but all of the information is really clear. It's written in English, so we could understand all of the signs. They have like a room that's all aviary stuff, like birds of Belize. They have a whole history and the history of the island and its times of slavery and its emancipation. And then they also have a whole bunch of stuff about, part of their history is their Mayan history. So there's a whole section, a whole bunch of stuff on the Mayan ruins and the Mayan history there.
Okay, including a way of practicing your base 20 math, because who knew that their math was based off of 20s? And that kind of
more complicated than you think.
It kept our interest for quite more than I thought it would.
Yeah, they had a digital game where, they gave you a number, 14,364, and you had to figure out how to get to that number using that math. So that was fun.
It was a lot of fun. Now, before we head to our next stop, I do want to mention something about accessibility. First off, the walking through the city, this is not an American city with, all the rules and regulations. So some of the sidewalks just aren't kind of up to the standards you may be used to. So I do want to say that it's not terrifically smooth sailing if you were in a wheelchair or had some other devices just to help you walk around. So just make a note of that the city's not truly set up to be 100% accessible. Actually, since it's a tender stop, I will say that they do make every accommodation that they can for wheelchairs and to help folks onto the tender boat.
Yeah.
So just if you're a little worried, just speak to the crew even beforehand or during that day, and they will help you out. They may have special tender boats that are more accessible, and they'll make sure you can get to the dock without an issue. Just walking around and traveling around, it's more just, you have to be up in the air.
Yeah, I agree. It would be much more difficult.
Yes.
Yeah. So our next stop after the museum, we were getting a little hungry for lunch. So we walked about 1/3 of a mile down to the Hollover Creek area.
Yeah, it's right by the swinging bridge.
Yes.
Which is very rusty and doesn't appear to swing, but it's noted as the swinging bridge.
It's very low.
Yes.
Very low. And certain times where there have been floods, there's even a marker that showed the highest flood water level. It's wild.
Yes.
So it was cool. We found some restaurants down there near Hollover Creek. So we chose one that was right on the creek where we could watch the fishermen come back and forth on their boats. And it's funny because they have to duck down to go under the bridge.
Yes.
It's so fun to watch. So we had a great meal there. It was great service. The food was good. The prices were fantastic. Speaking of prices, as we show you the menu here, keep in mind that all of these prices are in Belize dollars, which US dollars is half. So say the quesadilla, which is one of the things we had, it's listed at $20. That's $20 in Belize money. So in the US, it's half of that. So that giant quesadilla was $10.
Too much food.
Yes, we did order too much food. We left behind a lot of food. We just didn't know what the portion sizes were going to be. But those chocolate shakes were fantastic.
Yes, well worth the Belizean dollars.
Yes. So we just used US dollars. We used our credit card. It was no problem at all. And then off we went. After that, we just sort of walked around and hung out just ever so much, just to kind of get a good feel for the area. And then we moseyed leisurely back to the tender dock, which was about 4/10 of a mile from where we went. So all in total, we walked about 1.5 miles.
It was low key. You know, when you're tendering, you just want to be really cognizant of time. So we didn't try to pack a ton of stuff in, and we just relaxed and I thought had a really nice time in port.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so keeping an eye on time, we made it back to our tender dock around 3 p.m. But on the app, it was very clear from our ship that the last tender time out of the city was at 4:15. We would never want to be that late, because I feel like that's just taking too much of a chance that the ship could leave without us. But it was still a very relaxing, low-key day without freaking out about the time. But there are situations where you might need to freak out about the time. So let's just give some tips for how to manage that. The biggest thing you need to know is that you need to stay on ship time.
Yes.
Because the ship we were on, the time we were there, the ship time was an hour different than the time in Belize. So we had set our watches not to change from ship time, so we know exactly what time it was on the ship. That's the biggest tip. If you don't remember anything else from this video, remember to keep your eye on ship time.
Yes. The other thing, if you want to go on an excursion, this is one place that I think we both recommend going through the ship, because most of the excursions, at least the ones that excite us most, are an hour or more away. And if you were going to go do that by a third party, you know, and you got stuck in traffic or you had a flat tire, you're really out of luck.
Yep.
And, you know, the ship can leave without you, and you have to factor in the tendering time. So it just compounds the lack of flexibility you have. Now, if you're on an excursion through the ship will wait for you. And we said we've been here 5 times. Time number 1, we were stuck in traffic, but we were on an excursion through the ship that took us to the jungles. We did zip lining, cave tubing. We loved it.
Yes.
And we loved the fact that we didn't have to worry that we were literally cutting it within 5 minutes of that last tender.
Yeah.
Because we knew the ship was responsible for us and would wait. Changed the whole attitude of everybody on that bus compared to if we were doing a third-party excursion.
Yes. The other excursions we've done, we did cave tubing twice, actually. And then another time, what was the third excursion we did?
Oh, it was the airboat through...
Oh, yes. That was fun. Yes, we did the airboat.
Yes. So, and if you're keeping track, we have one other time, which we actually just spent walking around the city again. And that time we found a vegan Chinese restaurant in Belize.
Yeah.
Go figure. And then there is a park and a beautiful overlook from that park with an ice cream shop, which is, again, it was all like within 3 or 4/10 of a mile of where the tender drops you off. So lots to do in the city for sure.
There's also that like big sign that says Belize that you can
by the
put a
park,
photo
yeah.
up. Yeah. So Lots to do. It's not like a big high adventure city unless you go on an excursion and get into the jungle especially. Highly advised. So here are our top 5 tips for Belize. Number 1, stay on ship time.
Okay. Number 2, use the cruise line excursions whenever possible.
But number 3, independent exploration is possible. You could do the same thing we did on this day or do something different around the city.
And if you're doing it independently, that leads to tip number 4. Just don't wait till the very last tender boat. Go a little earlier, give yourself a little time, and you'll enjoy the relaxation of that experience.
And tip number 5 is remember that Belize is what you make of it. Some cruisers either love Belize or say there's nothing to do. Our experience proves that
It's unbelievable.
it's unbelievable. Yes. We've been there 5 times and each time has been a little bit different, but always enjoyable. So let us know if you have any questions about this unbelievable place and we hope this video has been helpful. Thanks for watching.
Take care.